So the most important thing is the business. The business must grow. And there's no one person who makes it unstoppable for that business to grow. So let's cut off people and let's have more productive people. If your business... Holla, it's your boy George Billionaire. Hustle hard every single Monday. You know what it is. Make sure you go click that subscribe button right about now and click that bell notification. And let's keep it going. So School Run Diaries happening every single day. Some amazing nuggets from the amazing G's. And you definitely will be inspired. Family is everything, and you always need to incorporate them in every single thing that you do. Some amazing nuggets there. But today, hustle hard. Make sure if you haven't watched any Hustle Hard episode, go and like all the episodes with the amazing Capital 100.4 FM family, aka the Pulses. And we keep it going. So we're on our way to the studio. And today, amazing. It's going to be a lot, especially for all those entrepreneurs and all those wannabe entrepreneurs who are doing what they need to do in order to stay afloat. Remember, I always preach against just relying on one stream of income, and I'm one person who encourages people to get outside their comfort zone and add a little extra on top of already what you're doing as you keep things going. But today, make sure you watch every single minute of this show, because it's going to blow you away and it's totally going to transform your mindset. Holla holla, it's your boy.
It is Capi Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. You are tuned into The Pulse. From 12 until 3 o'clock, we do this radio thing together. And if you tune in between that time, you are known as a pulser. And we love you, pulsers. Radio can never be radio without you. It's time for Hustle Hard with George Billionaire. We do this each and every Monday. George comes through to talk all things business, all things hustle. And today, our focus is mainly on some business questions that were sent through. And we're going to go through them and hopefully get some answers and assist some people. So starting a business after returning from the diaspora can be both exciting and challenging. And we are going to be exploring some potential benefits and considerations. So that's the main topic today, but we've also got business messages that were sent through, or business questions rather. Holla holla, Mr. Billionaire.
Holla holla. It's your boy, George Billionaire.
Yeah, boy.
With none other. The two amazing Noma and Becky K.
Yeah.
On Capi Talk 100.4 FM.
Yes.
The place to be every single day when you're tuned in. So that, as always, you can be... You know, one thing about this show, you are definitely going to be provoked. You're definitely going to have a mindset shift. You're going to be inspired and equipped. Because that's what life should be. Life should take you outside your usual comfort zone. You should always be challenged as an individual to become better, to say, wait, if these people are talking about it and we look around and many other people are doing it, surely it is possible. So it is possible to he or she who believes. But most importantly, let us be people who are going to finish the year strong and actually apply all these things we're learning, because without application of knowledge, we will just remain the same and remain in our usual comfort zones. The message I keep talking about, and so many people are comfortable begging because they've built a house, they've reached some level of success, they are earning a steady income, but those things are not permanent. So you need to create something that's going to really take care of you and your children's children in many years to come.
Alrighty. In a few minutes, we'll be taking through questions as we explore today's topic and have a look at other case studies that were brought in. So over the weekend, I sat down with some ladies who are into business or who want to venture into some business, and most of them were from outside Zim. Some are based in South Africa, some are based in the UK. And that brought about, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I've got a show that talks about business. So let's go and ask George, like, what is it that these people can do in Zimbabwe, because they want to invest back, they want to do business here. So they are working in South Africa or working in Botswana or Zambia, but within the African region. And they are saying they want to start businesses in Zimbabwe. So they were saying, what is it that we can do? Certain markets are saturated, certain businesses, everybody is doing it. And now you're thinking, what will make mine different from the next person. Everyone is selling t-shirts, everyone is selling caps, everyone is selling eggs, everyone is selling, something, and I want to get into that business, but I won't even be there to watch over the business because I'm not based in Sim.
Yeah.
I'm outside. So let's kick off the discussion with that. How important is it for local Zimbabweans who are based outside of the country to invest back into the country?
Well, that's a brilliant question, and we've got so many of those people out there in first world countries, some America, Australia, not just in Africa at large. And I always say to people who are outside and abroad, they have far more exposure in terms to the things that are needed in first world countries that they can always look back at bringing back here in the country. Now, when you look at the term called business, and if you look at you thinking you're going to be the first person to actually do a specific venture or business, you're going to be very disappointed because, Becky, do you know how many air conditioning companies there are?
Plenty, I'm sure.
Do you know how many clothing shops there are? Do you know how many takeaways there are? Do you know how many car sales there are?
A lot.
Do you know how many radio stations there are? Do you know how many barbers? We could go on and on. So the thing called business, there's nothing called the market is saturated. It's about you saying, I want to provide a solution to the problem that Zimbabwe is facing, or a product or a service.
Yeah.
And then you focus on that, you become so good at it, and you stick to that one thing, that you become at the top when it comes to people looking for that product or service. Because if we are to ask somebody, what business should I do, George, it's very difficult to identify a business for somebody who may not have a specific interest in it. Because if you want to sell clothes and you begin to look at selling uniquely different type of clothes, I mean, one thing I personally did last week, I was just really getting an appreciation. We're always on the show talking to entrepreneurs, but I decided to get out of my car, out of my air-conditioned car, by the way, which is which is cool. It's very hot out there.
Yeah.
And I went out and I was walking downtown, and I saw a lot of people doing similar things, but believe it or not, even if they are in the most awkward corners, they are still making a revenue somehow, some way, because they've at least put their business out there. Okay. And I went to a building opposite Townhouse, and this was on the second floor, and the people there are actually making some money, even though they are upstairs, because they're relying on ads and all of this.
Yeah.
So I got an appreciation to say that, listen, it doesn't matter there are so many people doing it. It's about how you package your business, how aggressive you're going to be, and especially in this very competitive market, if you're providing the extra on top of the ordinary, which is delivering, which is making sure that your customers at the end of the day are happy, and then they refer other people. So when it comes to people abroad, they have exposure to so many things that maybe us here are close to, because they are in what they deem better off economies than us.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that especially for Zimbabwe, there is a lot of people with a lot of disposable income. There's so many people, Becky, with the work we do with air conditioning, I'm surprised in all sectors. I know we're building malls across the country. There are people building houses in the northern suburbs. There are people renovating their houses even in the high density suburbs, which shows you across board, people are making money somehow, some way in this country. So there is disposable income. And if you come with proper product or service, I can guarantee you, and Zimbabwe being a very liquid country, and to others they may say there's no liquidity in the country of Zimbabwe, especially people who are abroad. How does it work? But if you actually just take a look around, north, south, east, west, anywhere in the country, no matter where you are, you should ask yourself, why are all these companies opening other branches, people building, and there's so much development? If you see all these people who are going to get and start shops and all this, it means they have seen that this market is actually liquid, because more and more people are starting small enterprises. So instead of us thinking negatively, thinking, it won't work, Zimbabwe, this, that, if you just have somebody who is in Zimbabwe who is running a business and they are actually growing their trajectory, they're opening more branches, it should tell you something. Because the people abroad, Becky, one thing people fail to understand, which is why I preach entrepreneurship very highly, especially in Zimbabwe, there is a hub of opportunities. There is easier ways to start a business compared to where they are. Those South Africans, Botswana, Americans, they need to be compliant because they are foreigners in their own land. But here in Zimbabwe, I can tell you the opportunities are vast. And I would always recommend people want to start businesses. We all know the stories of relatives who are building a house and they are abroad, and you don't come here, and 10 years later you come back and you find out no house was ever built because money was misused. I wouldn't recommend you to actually invest and be a cell phone farmer. I would be one who really get hands-on, because ultimately the amount of money you make here in your local country will far surpass the hard work that you are doing in a foreign land. But at least you're building something in your own country, which is going to benefit the multitude.
What about the focus of people wanting to start businesses and they all want to start in Harare, when we've got like 10 provinces, but everyone wants to start a business in Harare?
So if you look at the liquidity and the decision making of most organizations in the country of Zimbabwe, most of it is centralized in Harare.
Yeah.
Right? That's for a specific product or service. But then when you decentralize, go to Bulawayo, Gweru, Kariba, depending on what product and service you're offering, definitely there's a need for that. I think, for instance, if you're to look at us here with what we do, our main necessity for air conditioning is in Vic Falls and Kariba, because those are hot places.
Right.
And of course Harare. If we go to a place where the climate is not so conducive, you'll find our sales may not be good in those areas. So this is why people choose Harare, because you've got 1.5 million people. You've got a lot of people with disposable income who are in that area. So that's why people usually tend for Harare, because there's a lot more consumers.
And that's wise to do that?
It is very. You need to get started somewhere. Once your brand, your business begins to grow, depending on the demand of your product, then you can say, wait a minute, people are buying food from this fast food outlet, let's open another one in that area and in that area as it grows. But the numbers will tell you for themselves. I think we've seen it with so many fast food outlets. They start with initially in Harare. Once people receive that brand, that product, that service,
and then they
because in Harare is the most numbers. So once people start talking good about that product from Harare, it will be easily acceptable in other towns. So Harare is a good start-up place for most people who want to start something, because you've got the numbers, you've got the disposable income. There's no other town that has more money than Harare and numbers, because remember, business is a numbers game. So whatever product or service you're doing, the numbers must speak for you. So it's important, you focus on Harare, depending, again, like I said, on the product or service you have.
All right. So if you were to advise those who want to start businesses in Zimbabwe, give me like 3 business ideas that they can get into easily, and then maybe diversify just to get their foot into the market. What would they be looking at?
When it comes to choosing businesses for people, Becky, it's a bit tricky because people are different. But one thing I can guarantee and tell you is that there are so many things that you can do in this country. So many. And when people begin to realize that, okay, there's so many problems, just like any other country in the world, I want to create a solution for one thing. Now, the impatience of people is what causes people not to grow.
The impatience.
Because people are thinking, if I put in 10,000, 5,000 within a year, I should have doubled that or etc. But for all long successful businesses who've been there, they've stuck true to that one thing. Remember, we used to talk about the acronym FOCUS. Follow one course until success. And only until people are confident about your brand and others have used it, they've reviewed it, then others will also join into the bandwagon of supporting your business. So the number one key thing that I would tell people who want to start a business is be patient. It's like planting a maize seed. It's going to take a couple of months for it to germinate. Don't look at returns immediately and expect business to boom. Because remember, you're building something. So whenever you're investing in something, I can tell you, those who are miners, who go mining for gold, you're not going to hit the belt immediately. There's a lot of lessons you're going to learn from, getting the wrong position. You're going to need a lot of explosives, etc. And that's going to happen in any business. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned. So for me, the number one thing is do not do something just for just.
So whatever business they choose, don't just do it for just.
No, you must be specific and understand it's the long game. Business is not like the Ponzi schemes we see. You put in $100, you get 5,000. It's the long game. And like I always say in business, Becky, you want to be known for what you do. When your name is mentioned because of your consistency over the years, people should know, right, if I want to buy a laptop, I go to this place. If I want to buy a car, I go to this, because they've been long established in that thing and people are now supporting them. If you want to hire a tent or something, there's certain things already that come to your mind because those people have been doing it for a long time. When it's hot like this and people need air conditioning, it's a must. People know that, okay, we go to these people because they make the weather.
All right, we're about to get into a case study. It is George, a billionaire, on Capi Talk 100.4 FM for Hustle Hard, talking all things business. So we just finished discussing about people in the diaspora or outside Zimbabwe who want to come back home and start a business. And no, please, Zimbabwe is open for business. Come through, start the businesses anywhere really. If you want to start in Harare, and it's a good idea to start where the numbers are, but also think about my province, guys. Because you know what happens when all the good businesses are in Harare, and then you travel outside, you go to Mutare, and you're like, pana in, oh okay, Achibo, oh okay, oh, and then you go to Gweru, and you're like, oh, this thing is not there. So for me, I feel like, yes, start in Harare, but look outside as well.
Becky, the numbers will always tell you the truth, because there are many companies who have actually gone and wanted to open branches in other towns, but maybe the appreciation of their product or service
is not yet
there.
Not yet there.
And just like in any other country, there are what are called rural areas and urban areas. So a necessity in the urban area may be a luxury in the rural.
Oh yeah.
So you take that product there, it will sit on the shelf.
And it will sit.
You're paying exorbitant rates. You've got numbers of people there. So it won't be accepted there. So it's just better to focus. If somebody needs it there like now, we've got your order and it can be delivered to you. It can always go there without you having to necessarily open a branch.
Nice. My Sheila Guruve, you can send through your message. Thank you for writing to us. What's your business question, or what business is it that you are in? When we come back, we get into case studies. Keep it locked on Capi Talk.
The fight against cancer. Join us Saturday, 1 November 2025. The walk kicks off at 5:30 a.m. sharp. Whether you're walking in memory of a loved one, celebrating survival, or simply standing up for help, your step makes a difference. Registration is just $10 per.
Singura Lady from Hayden Park, thank you so much for writing in. All right, so let's get into some case studies. Noma, how are you feeling about this business thing?
Well. I mean, I agree with what Hala said.
Vele, can you refuse?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot. You cannot really refuse. I mean, it's always a fear for all of us when you want to start something, because if you get into town, whether you want to sell anything, there's a shop somewhere
with the same thing that you want to sell. Right.
But
do people buy a product, or they buy the person, or they buy the experience, or they buy the brand?
It starts with the person. It starts with the person. So you have to actually be very aggressive with you loving your brand. Remember, I spoke about it with that certain gentleman who invented the phone I don't use, right? Yes, I use the nicer one, of course.
Whatever.
But people follow that specific model of a phone because of the person. Yeah. The cars we drive is the person first. The institutions that we mention, it's the person first. The line you are using on your mobile is the person first.
Yeah.
That funeral assurance, that property company.
Yeah, it's the person.
We can keep going on, but the person.
All right.
So it should be about you making sure that you love the brand. When you love the brand, people then love you.
Sure.
Then they'll get to love the brand. And whatever then you say, remember that girl who started a lipstick? She had many followers?
Yes,
automatically she became a multi-millionaire just because people followed whatever she said. So it begins with you.
All right, first case study. We just use pseudonyms here because they were like, please don't say our names on radio. So Rumbidzai is a Zimbabwean who recently returned from the United Kingdom after working abroad for several years. With savings accumulated during her time abroad, Rumbidzai aims to start a printing business in Harare, capitalizing on the growing demand for printing services in the local market. However, she faces a challenge. She has invested in a car for transportation and personal use, leaving her with limited funds for essential printing equipment. And I need equipment, but the business was doing well. Where I was doing it, and I figured, no, let me come to Zimbabwe and start the printing thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Maria, how you ndakatenga moto?
Yeah.
And now printing equipment.
So Becky, the most important thing, and this is where a lot of people get it twisted, you want to quickly financially reward yourself first. You want to look good before you've made the business to look good. And this is what most startup entrepreneurs do when they get a little lump sum of money. They fail to reinvest into the business first. And they want to spoil themselves and look good. But there's no point like her looking good and yet she doesn't have the printing equipment that's going to make her more money. Because yes, it will be painful to buy the printing equipment for $5,000-$10,000. But after 6 months, she can now afford to buy the car. And that printing equipment is printing money every day for her. So she should liquidate. Remember what we said about people with capital. They don't have capital, they get a loan from the bank, they go, they spend on exorbitant things. The business is not functioning because lack of financial intelligence. They are spoiling themselves before the business actually takes care of them. So when you get a little bit of money, I love the word of God, Hansi, put a little on a little and soon it will be much. But if you blow your money on a car, and thank God these days to these cars apps, you can just be picked up from anywhere, and you don't need necessarily to put fuel in the car, so you can be delivered XYZ wherever you're going. After 6 months, you are able then to buy your own van and whatever it is. So with her, there's lack of wisdom in her decision. Remember, I spoke about it years ago when I was told by my mentors, George, don't buy an expensive car. Focus on growing the business. Then the business will take care of you after years. So that's the basic principle people need to learn. Invest your money into the business. It's okay to get into a combi, into an omnibus as transportation, and then from there you grow slowly by slowly. Let's not look too good too quick. Otherwise our businesses will not survive.
All right. And then this one, Takudzwa, Anosona Downtown, local business. Anosona Downtown, and I don't face a challenge. Nema tailors are. And the tailors are not producing adequate work. It's standard. It's not good. They're very old-fashioned. So Kudara, she used to buy fabric with the patterns and the designs that are in, and now she's given the tailors a free range to buy the fabrics and to make stuff. But the things are not moving because they look old-fashioned. What do? Do I fire my tailors? Do I constantly repeat myself that the things need to be of high standard? These tailors are driving me crazy.
So the key thing in any business organization that's going to determine success or not is the people you have in your team. Right? If you have the wrong team, you are not going to go anywhere. We spoke about this last week about this football team I support, that they bought players to improve the performance of the team. Now, if you have the wrong people who have no ideas, they don't know where you want to go, they don't know the latest trends, quickly get rid of them and get the correct people, because you want an effective team that operates when you're not there. If you always have to be there in all decision-making processes in a thing called your business, you're not going to go very far, because you need to give an instruction for a certain period until the business grows, and now your team knows your standard of excellence. Things need to be like this. If she was here, she would not like this. Let's restart this.
So someone needs to be in charge of like a quality control.
That's it. But quality control, if you've got people who are not of the same mindset as you, you're trying to tell Gogo how to make the latest trend of this, and Gogo's like, no, it's too short, my dear. This will not work. So unfortunately, it's not going to. So you need people, vibrant, new ideas, who can actually add input to you and say, no, this won't look good, and they give you good advice.
Saka, do we fire Gogo because Gogo doesn't? Topa Gogo another job to do.
I think what's important in order for you to grow, there are some branches which need to be cut if you want to go upwards. So if you want to grow, it's very difficult decision, but when you find the right one, when you say something once, it's heard 3 times and it will be executed in far lesser of a time. Those are team players who you need in your organization. So if you have somebody who is not executing what you do in your organization, and you repeat 2-3 times, that branch needs to be cut, and you need to get more effective people.
So are you saying in any business, for it to be successful, duplicate yourself?
That's it. You must. In any organization, if you're going to grow, you need to have the right people. But if you're going to be comfortable and stagnant and you're okay with that, keep those bad apples around. Sooner or later, they will become unproductive and they will affect the whole team. And then you wonder, we used to be. But then people stunted your growth by, thinking that, this job is not going to go anywhere. We are here for life. Be very quick. Just like I like it, like I keep referring to soccer. If that coach is not performing, if that player is not performing, quickly, they are loaned, they are sold, they are replaced. And life goes
Very
on.
fast.
And that team does not stop.
No.
It keeps going.
I was going
So
to
the
talk
most
about
important
today.
thing is the business. The business must grow. And there's no one person who makes it unstoppable for that business to grow. So let's cut off people and let's have more productive people.
I like that.
If your business wants to grow,
Let's cut off people and let's be productive.
yeah,
Because,
let's get the right people.
Now,
on
I'm
our
sure I
team.
cut you off.
Cut it
You
off.
need to cut it.
You must cut it off.
Oh my goodness. That's all the time we had for Hustle Hard today with George, a billionaire. George, for those looking for you or who want to attend your Monday masterclasses, how do they
Right, so
contact
GB
you?
mentorship happens every Monday, 0712 840 840. Follow George Billionaire on Instagram, GB mentorship on Instagram. And
heard
come
it.
through and be mentored.
You heard it. It is 1 o'clock on Capi Talk 100.4 FM. You were tuned into Hustle Hard with George, a billionaire. Stand by for the news.